Everyone, my name is Carrie Quinto, and I'm the Summative Assessment Coordinator for the assessments team here at DEED. That means I coordinate different aspects of both AK STAR and the Alaska Science Assessment, both of which I'm going to provide a high-level overview for you during this presentation. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So Alaska has academic standards in English language arts, mathematics, and science that are used to drive curriculum, instruction, and assessment goals and actions, both here at DEED and in schools and classrooms throughout Alaska as well. For any assessment to measure student performance reliably and validly on the content and skills outlined in those standards, both curriculum and instruction must also be aligned to those common expectations. The Alaska System of Academic Readiness, or better known as AK STAR, is Alaska's new innovative balanced assessment system that was administered for the first time last spring, the spring of 2022. This new system seeks to make statewide assessment part of our solution rather than only a measure of the challenge Alaska faces with student achievement. These shifts in the assessment system are intended to change the way we think about assessment and instruction across Alaska. The AK STAR umbrella image that you see on the screen in front of you is a system that's made up of two parts. The first is the AK STAR Summative Assessment administered each spring. It does meet federal requirements, but more importantly, it measures student proficiency in relation to Alaska's academic standards. The second part of this graphic on the right is the MAP Growth Interim Assessments that's administered statewide in fall and winter each year. And the MAP Growth measures student proficiency and growth, as well as projected proficiency on the spring summative AK STAR assessment. So AK STAR is a computer-based assessment that students can take on a variety of devices, such as a desktop computer, laptop, or tablets. It is administered in partnership with NWEA during a 5-week window each spring. All students in grades 3 through 9 take AK STAR, and its universal design provides an assessment that is accessible to students with disabilities as well as English learners. And as I mentioned a few slides ago, AK STAR assesses a student's understanding and knowledge of the Alaska ELA and mathematics standards that were adopted in 2012. There are two components of the spring AK STAR summative assessment, a summative component and a growth component. The summative component addresses the breadth and depth of Alaska's grade level standards, and it produces a summative test score and proficiency level based on those standards. The growth component personalizes the test for each student, adapting above and below grade level, producing a MAP growth RIT score. So combining the summative and growth components creates a more holistic assessment system, and it creates coherence between standards, assessment, and instruction, and it ensures alignment to our ELA and math standards. This spring, we have also implemented an adaptive design to the spring summative. As I mentioned in a previous slide, the assessment can adapt below and above grade level based on how a student responds to each test question. This provides each student a unique testing experience that more accurately measures their abilities. Our AK STAR system is also designed to recognize and celebrate students' academic progress. With MAP growth, fall and winter interim assessments, as well as the spring AK STAR assessment, there are now 3 opportunities throughout the year for students to show growth. And with this new system, we're striving to create a more efficient testing experience, thus overall reducing test events while still producing valuable data, a summative proficiency score, and a RIT growth. The data assessments team has a really excellent disposition of service to school districts. There are many things that we do for preparation, implementation, and understanding of the AK Star system. Our partners at NWEA provide tools, webinars, and technical assistance to technology staff in setup of student devices and overall readiness and successful implementation of a computer-based assessment. We train school district staff in test administration procedures and provide modules that can be used to train school and classroom staff. For students, there are tutorials and practice tests that provide a hands-on experience for them to become familiar with the test-taking tools, navigation of the test platform, and they can try out different item types that they will see on the spring assessment. AK Star also has a professional learning component with assessment literacy in mind, because one of these strategic goals aims to increase educators' abilities to effectively use assessment tools and data while applying strategies for data-informed decisions. Our intention is to have a balanced assessment system both at the state level and within all school districts that intentionally makes use of formative, interim, and summative assessment practices. After assessments, different reports are available. An individual student report, or what we refer to as an ISR, will provide a student's summative scale score and achievement level and relative performance on reporting categories, which are smaller subsets that we're measuring within the bigger assessment. ISRs are meant for students and families, and they are useful for understanding how a student performed overall on the standards at a grade level at the end of the school year. An ISR also shows comparisons of student performance to other students in the school, district, and state. School and district summary reports are made available to districts and these provide summary information for the school, district, and state. It includes a number of students tested, percentage in each achievement level, medium and mean scale scores, and performance for reporting. These summary reports are useful for information about the performance on the school and district levels, and they can determine grade level or content areas where program or instruction may be improved to increase student achievement. AK Star also has an online reporting system, or what we refer to as ORS, that is dynamic in nature. It allows district users to view results at any organizational level and provides the ability to drill down to the school, grade, class, and student level information. ORS has the same information as the reports that I spoke to above, but it allows a user to configure it in different ways. An educator guide to assessment results is available for AK Star. This guide is extensive, it's 80 plus pages, but it really is an educator's one-stop shop for everything related to reporting. It talks about the AK Star test design and includes a list of item types and examples for each item that a student may see during the spring assessment. It has examples of each report and with annotations explaining sections of each of those reports. And the guide also has a step-by-step instructions on how to access all of the different reports. A family guide to student reports is also available, and this was designed to ensure that families understand, number one, what a student report means, and number two, what actions they can take in support of their child's academic development. The family guide also provides links to available resources, such as a list of item types, so that parents can see what kinds of questions their students are answering, and links to student readiness web pages so that they can see what resources are available that help students prepare for the assessment. The AK Star webpage has a wealth of useful information, not only for schools and districts, but for families and communities as well. This is where all assessment design, test administration, and student resources are available, Professional learning opportunities and information on accommodations and student supports is available also on this webpage. Okay, I'm going to transition to talking about the Alaska Science Assessment. So the Alaska Science Assessment is administered as a computer-based assessment as well, similar to AK-STAR. It is a fixed form, meaning that the test does not adapt based on student responses. The assessment is aligned to K-12 science standards for Alaska that were adopted in 2019, and it is administered each spring during the same 5-week window as the AK-STAR assessment. The science assessment is only administered to students in grades 5, 8, and 10, and depending on the grade level, focuses on the domains of physical, life, and earth and space sciences. This assessment is administered in partnership with DRC, who has a long history in Alaska providing statewide assessments. Each grade level science assessment is split into 3 parts, and each part has a mix of standalone test items and scenario-based item sets. And it's estimated that a student can finish each of these parts in 35 minutes. Districts do have the option of administering one or multiple parts at a time, depending on what best fits a school's testing schedule. The item types a student may see in the standalone or scenario-based item types does include multiple choice, multiple select, meaning that the student is to choose multiple answers, or technology items that can be a drag and drop or a drop down. And a full list of all of these item types with examples of each can be found on the Alaska Science Assessment Design webpage. So DEED and DRC do work together to provide many resources on how to implement the Alaska Science Assessment. This includes technology tools, user guides, and webinars for technology staff, and opportunities for students to become familiar with the test platform that includes student tutorials and practice tests. With reporting of results, some of the reports that are received are similar to AK-STAR. For example, an individual student report, or ISR, will provide a student's summative scale score and achievement level similar to AK-STAR and relative performance on those reporting categories. ISRs are meant for students and families, and they're useful for understanding how a student performed overall on the grade level science standards at the end of the school year. School and district summary reports are also made available that provide summary information for schools, districts, and the state. And these summary reports are useful for information about the performance of the school and district levels. And they can determine specific areas of science where program or instruction may be improved to increase student achievement. DRC provides a school roster report that lists students in a school by grade level, and it shows the scale, score, achievement, and performance by reporting category. This school roster report is extremely useful for schools that want to see individual student information at a glance, and could be useful for educators to consider instructional modifications for specific grade levels in the next school year. Similar to AK-STAR, an educator guide to assessment results is available for science assessment as well. This guide is about approximately 60 pages, but again, it is an educator's one-stop shop for everything related to science reporting. It talks about the design of the assessment and includes a list of science item types that a student may see. It has examples of each science report with annotations explaining each section of the report. And it does have a step-by-step instructions, or a guide that has step-by-step instructions on how to access all of the different reports in the DRC Insight portal. And again, a family guide to student reports is also available with the same idea that we want to ensure that families understand what a student report means and what actions can be taken to support a child's academic development. Okay, sorry about that. We do have an Alaska Science Assessment webpage as well that provides additional information about the assessment, full assessment blueprints, a list of item types, and achievement level descriptors. And this is where student readiness resources are housed on this webpage as well. So families and community members can find direct links to the student tutorials and hands-on practice for students. So if you have any questions about the AK STAR or Alaska Science Assessment, please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on the assessments team. Let me go ahead and stop sharing.